Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about database. Now before we start with the database, I would like to ask you a question. And the question is, have you ever searched for a contact in your phone? Or have you ever searched for a song on Spotify or a product on Amazon? So, how do you think all this information is stored and organized in all these applications? So, we are going to discuss about the same. We are going to discuss about database. So, what is database? What is database as per you? So if I say a word database, the first word here comes is data. So data is just some facts or figures which have no meaning, or we can say some random values which doesn't give you any information or a specific information. When I say a word information, it is processed form of data. Now, data and information, I think you must be clear now that data is just a figures. For example, a general example, when you go to your different subject teachers and ask for your marks, that is data. So you got to know your English marks, you got to know about your physics marks, chemistry marks, and other subjects marks. But now when it is stored in a report card, it gives you an information what percentage have you got. So this is data. This is the difference between data and the information. Now next thing here comes is, whenever we are storing digital form of data, it is known as database. And to organize this data, we have database management system. So when I say database management system, it is when, and I also used a word organize here. When I say organizes data, it means we can add data, delete, modify, we can work with different type of data, we can do certain operations based on that data, we can search a particular data as well. Now, all this we can do using database management system. But before we start talking about database management system, what was the purpose of creating this database? So, let's take a simple example. Earlier, we used to have typical file processing system. For example, you go to a particular school or an institute, they give you a form to fill. Now, while filling this form, it's totally up to you what you are going to fill in that form. There are certain questions like you need to fill in your name, your date of birth, your address, your phone numbers, and anything related to you. There are many options. So you are filling it. You may leave some of them empty. But when we are talking about database, it is digital form of data now. If we talk about a Google form or something, you must have seen a red color asterisk on it which tells you that it is compulsory to fill. So whenever we are working with digital form of data, it is standardized. When I say word standardized, means that you have a certain standard of that data. Now the next point here will be, what was the purpose of creating data? So the second point here would be to reduce data redundancy. When I say data redundancy means duplication of data. When the duplication of data is reduced, data inconsistency is also reduced to the large extent. Then this database, which is digitally stored, is secured, and it is it maintains privacy. When I say security and privacy, the two terms are different. Generally, it seems to us something similar, but security refers to unauthorized access of the data, whereas privacy stands for what data is to be shared with whom, like how much data. For example, unauthorized access means that you have a password, it is password protected, you have the password and you are accessing your data. And if somebody else accesses the data, then your security is compromised. But when we talk about privacy, it is what data and how much data is to be shared by whom. For example, a school principal can access data of any student, whereas if we talk about the class teacher, she or he can access data of only a particular student. And same way, when we talk about only a subject teacher teaching computer science, can only, or information practices can only see data of their particular the student they are teaching. Now, so I till now I've discussed standardized data. It reduces data redundancy, it reduces inconsistency to the large extent, security and privacy of data. Next is sharing of data. So sharing of data is easier as compared to taking a lot of files to one, moving it from one place to another. So this was the purpose of creating data. Now directly coming to RDBMS, which is Relational Database Management System. Now, before starting with relational database management system, I'm going to discuss few terms with you. What are these few terms? When I said relational database management system, I used the word relation here. What is relation? So, relation is data arranged in the form of rows and columns. We also call it as a table. So, in table, we arrange data in the form of rows as well as columns. Now, what are rows in the database known as? They are known as tuple. Tuple, tuple. Tuple is rows in a relation, whereas attributes are columns in a relation. Now, collectively, the number of attributes in a relation are known as degree, whereas number of tuples in a relation are known as cardinality. Then there is a term view. So now view is a virtual table that does not exist in reality but is instead derived from one or more tables. When I say this statement, what is view? So if you understand the Hindi meaning of the word view is uh, a thing you see, or view for every person would be different, I'll say. So talking about view, when I said it is a virtual table which does not exist in reality, I mean that, for example, we have a school database, and in the school database we have many columns like all sort of data of the students, their name, their roll number, their admission number, class, section, father's name, mother's name, as well as our school provides a facility of food in the afternoon to the students. Now in the food column, it's optional. For some student it is yes, for some students it is no. Now when at a canteen or a refectory where they are heading for the food, they don't need the data for the whole school. They only need the data for the students who eat food in the refectory. Now, talking about this particular data, it is not feasible to create the whole data again with only the data of the students who are opting for the food services. So, what do is we create a view which is a part of the actual table, but it is not the actual table. So that is called view. So what we do is we write a query, we fire a query in which we write that the data of the students who are opting for food can only be displayed, and we give it a specific name. So that will be a view. I'll repeat the definition here. View is a virtual table that does not exist in reality but is derived from one or more tables. So we can have a combination of more tables also. So these were the basic terms used with the database. Now coming to the most important part of the RDBMS or relational database management system is keys. So If we talk about keys, we have many different columns in the table. Now, if I talk about columns like, for example, we'll take a student database. Now, in a student database, we have columns like admission number, name of the student, then their father's name, mother's name, address, contact details, email ID, Aadhaar card number, and many more details. Now, if you'll see this database, we have Aadhaar card number which will be unique to each student, whereas we have admission number which will also be unique to each student. Now, there are two such columns. So, there is a concept called primary key. So, what is primary key? Primary key is basically an attribute, or it can be a combination of attribute whose values are derived from, I'll say, sorry, an attribute or a combination of attribute which uniquely identifies tuple within a relation. So, when we say one Rohan is different from another Rohan in the same school, that is because of the admission number. Because as per database, we have two names stating Rohan. So their admission number is different, that is why they are two different students. So any such column in which we can add unique data or which will have particularly unique data will be a primary key. Now you will say that in the example I gave you here, we have two columns which will have unique data. One is admission number and the second is Aadhaar card number. But in one particular table, there can be only one primary key. So in this case, admission number will be the primary key. So what will be Aadhaar card key? It will be an alternate key because it can also be a primary key. But because I've already created admission number as a primary key, then in that case it will be an alternate key. Now both of them together, admission number and your Aadhaar card number, both of them together are candidate key. So I'll just quickly tell you the definitions for the same. The candidate key is an attribute or a combination of attribute that can serve as primary key, which can be a primary key. Then primary key is an attribute that uniquely identifies tuples within a relation. Alternate key is all candidate key except primary key. I'll repeat, all candidate key except primary key. Now coming to one more important key concept is foreign key. Now as the name suggests, foreign key means something which is coming from outside, foreign. So foreign key stands for a particular column or an attribute in which the data we are adding exists in some other table. Again, I'll give you an example. So for example, the example we were taking was of a student table. Now for example, in a student table, we have a column teacher ID in which we are adding the class teacher ID of a student. Now this teacher ID should already be there in a teacher table. Otherwise, I cannot enter that data in student table. So this teacher ID for student table will be a foreign key because I can only add data which exists in teacher table. When I say which exists in teacher table means, for example, if I have a teacher table, whatever teacher IDs I am creating, that means those teachers are working in a particular organization or an institution. That is why their teacher ID exists. And when I am creating a student table, I can only add teacher ID of the teachers who are existing in that particular institution. So this teacher ID in student table will be a foreign key. Now talking about the definition of the foreign key is a non-key attribute whose values are derived from primary key of some other table. I'll repeat, whose values are derived from primary key of some other table. So these were the basic concepts of the database. I hope you would have understood, and I'll continue this video after, and I will add some more concepts. I will start with MySQL concepts after this video. Thank you for watching.